What's next for Ryan Day at Ohio State? I'm not talking about the coordinator hires. That's not what I'm getting at here. Ohio State has lost a lot in the course of the last few weeks since winning the national championship. Let's start here. Both coordinators are gone. Chip Kelly to the Raiders, Jim Knowles to Penn State. Your offensive line coach, Justin Fry, he's gone to the NFL. Your quarterback, Will Howard, Emeka Egbuka, he's gone. Several leaders on your defense from Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimoloau, both running backs. There's a lot that's left the building that helped hoist that national title trophy at Ohio State January 20th in Atlanta. I think some folks will see what's happening and say, see, Ohio State, it's bad. It's a bad deal out there. It's a bad deal. They won their national title, and that thing's imploding from the inside, which I guess is what imploding means. And this is tough. It's never great to lose both coordinators and all that you lost the NFL draft. But would you rather have this situation if you're an Ohio State fan, where you're saying, gosh, dang, we got to hire some new coordinators? Or would you rather be in the position you were a year ago, saying, I wonder if we can convince some of these guys that have a chance to go pro to come back, and then we can go out and hire some other coordinators or hire some other coaches or retool this whole situation to get us over the hump to win a national championship. Y'all, it worked. Where you were a year ago to where you are now, the all-in mentality, retaining the roster, hiring Chip Kelly, it all worked. Everyone that's pivoted away from Ohio State, whether it be to the draft or graduation or to a different job, they're leaving with a national title ring on their finger. It worked. We said this in a reaction video when Chip Kelly took the job for the Raiders to be their offensive coordinator. This is what happens when you win a national title. This is the price of success. And Ohio State fans know that, but I just think for the folks that are throwing stones from the outside looking in at Ohio State saying, what's going on over there? What's going on over there is people see what Ohio State did this past season and want to try to get themselves a piece of that magic out there in Columbus to bring back to their situation to help them be successful. That's all it is, dude. That's all it is. It's not Chip Kelly being unhappy. The Jim Knowles thing went how it went, and Penn State went to bat and got him, and that's a whole other story in itself. But like this isn't like Ohio State's down bad. They just had success. So therefore, in modern college football, when you have success, people want to bring you in. Same thing in life. If you do a good job at your job, somebody else that has a bigger job for you, whether it be your company or somewhere else, will pay you more to pivot to that job or that company. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. And so looking to the future here for Ohio State, the thing that I think is maybe getting lost in the sauce of all this is we know who Ryan Day is now as a coach. We do. The Michigan thing is a whole other discussion that we've had many times on this show and we'll have in the future. But Ryan Day as a coach is a good freaking coach. 70-10, 2 Big Ten titles, national title, mic drop. Yeah, but that roster was so good. Yeah, the roster was so good. Is there a reason why they can't still have a great roster here in the next couple of seasons in Columbus? Is there a reason why they won't have a great roster this year? Last time I checked, Julian is saying he can sling a little bit. He was a 5-star cat. Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, they both still exist. Sonny Styles, he's back. Davidson Igbendosen, starting quarter for you on the national title team, he's back. Like, there's a lot of pieces that are still back here with a very capable head coach. And so the difference now for Ryan Day moving forward and the difference of how we're going to remember him from this year forward is how does he choose to adapt? You can have a great storybook season. They can make you a great movie about you and say Ohio State won the national title in 2024, curtain drops, roll credits. What are they going to say, though, when they do the Where Are They Now segment after those movies get made? Ryan Day went on to win 3 more national titles at Ohio State. Will they say that, or will they say Ryan Day coached the next 3 years at Ohio State, he then pivoted to the NFL? I don't know which storyline is more likely. I don't know that we're necessarily looking at just those being our only 2 doors for Ryan Day. But the point being here, adaptation is what gets you a statue in front of your stadium. Now, I got Ohio State fans in the mentions, I'm sure, saying as we say that out loud, well, beating Michigan gets you statues. I hear that. I think that's in the plans too. But we said this in the reaction video for Chip Kelly being hired. Nick Saban is the greatest of all time because from era to era, playoff era, BCS era, didn't matter. He adapted with the game and got the same level results. Hey, the offensive flow of things is changing in college football. Changes defensive personnel. We're big. We got to get faster. Hey, we got to find a way to score with these guys because they're still scoring a lot of points. Okay, bring in Sarkisian, bring in Kiffin. Cool. They adapted. That's what great coaches, that's what great people in life do. Kirby Smart, same deal. Loses Dan Lanning. retools that defensive staff, loses a lot of production from the defensive side. They adapt. They repeat as champions. Now, Dabo's got 2 national titles to his name, and I've been very vocal that I think Clemson is actually a great purchase if you were looking for some early odds to compete for a national title in 2025. Neither here nor there. But this is the issue that people have with Dabo Swinney, right? Nobody questions if Dabo Swinney is a great head coach. Everyone's questioning, well, as we move into the portal era, the NIL era, will Clemson keep up? I think they will. Again, different conversation for a different video, for a different segment, but you hear the point that I'm making. If Ryan Day can adapt now with these key pieces pivoting out of Columbus, they have every reason to still have success. What I just said a few moments ago, the roster is going to be awesome. And everyone seems to be so quick, if you're an Ohio State naysayer, $20 million roster, this and that, cool. I promise you, dude, going forward with revenue sharing, where $15 to $17 million is allocated towards football of that alleged $20 million that I think we're talking about here in this discussion, Ohio State's not going to be like begging for money going forward. Ohio State's not going to be slow to jump into the deep end of putting resources towards their football program. And so for Ryan Day, now the thing that I think is interesting is he has a proof of concept that's only going to warrant more resources. The confetti drops in Atlanta, and we said this exact same thing. I don't see a world where the powers that be financially in Columbus, Ohio, see Ryan Day win a national title and say, man, could we cut that budget a little bit and find a way to get the same results? What if we had a $17 million roster? Can we do a $15 million roster, Ryan? Could you make that work? No, they're saying, cool, we like this. You give a mouse a cookie, it's going to want some milk. You give Ohio State a national title, they're going to want 2 to 3 more. Price of admission seems to be $20 million. Let's do 25. You got Pete Nakos behind me in the war room back here that is the On3 office, writing articles talking about how a $30 million roster is not that far into the future in the college football world. I wouldn't be surprised if Ohio State is one of those teams that has a $30 million roster. So if it's about resources, Ryan Day has proven now in a smallish sample size of this past season, he can make it work. So speaking to this idea of how do they adapt and how do they continue, it's not going to be about talent for Ohio State. It's not going to be about resources. It's going to be about Ryan Day making the correct moves from his roster to his staff. I'm not just talking about this year. I'm not talking about replacing a Chip Kelly or replacing a Jim Knowles. I'm talking about the next 3 to 4 years. If they do win another national title, can you adapt again? As the game ebbs and flows with styles and all those things, can you adapt and keep adapting to eventually be considered one of the better coaches, one of the best coaches in the sport, not just in a vacuum of, the 2020s, but I'm talking about like history books. We'll see what happens, but it will not be a matter of resources, will not be a matter of coaching acumen. It'll be a matter of are you willing and able to adapt from a staff and roster level, because that's what makes the GOATs the GOATs.